Hello everyone, welcome to our new video. In this video, we are going to discuss about the flow chart. Well, a flow chart is a type of a diagram that represents an algorithm or process. See, in the algorithm, we have written the logic for solving a problem. In the flow chart, we are also going to do the same thing, but in a graphical way. So, the flow chart is a graphical representation of sequence of steps. That is the algorithm required to solve a particular problem. In algorithm, the representation was in a stepwise manner, was written in a pseudocode. But in flowchart, we will use different types of boxes of various kinds, and we will use their order by connecting them with the help of using arrows. This diagram representation illustrates a solution to a given problem. So here, these flowcharts are widely used in multiple fields to document, study, plan, prove, and communicate often complex processes in a clear, easy to understand diagrams. Using a flowchart, we can easily understand the logic of a problem. Well, these are very helpful in writing a program and explain it to others. Now, when we are dealing with the flowcharts are created with the help of different kinds of symbols that we are used. So here we are explaining different types of symbols that are used in flowchart. The first one, it's an oval shape, and the name of this symbol is start or end. So this oval symbol represents start or end point. Like algorithm, every flowchart has a starting point and an ending point, and this symbol represents the starting point of the flowchart as well as the ending point of the flowchart. The arrow, it represents the flow line. It is used to connect the symbols and indicate the flow of the logic in the flowchart. So here we have used different symbols. When we are using different symbols, different boxes in the flowchart, according to this flow line, we can understand that in which direction the logic of the program is flowing. Next one, a parallelogram we have, it's an input output box. It's an input output box which is used for input and output operations such as reading or displaying. The data to be read or displayed must have to be described inside. So inside in the parallelogram, we are going to write that which data are to be read from the user and which data are going to be displayed. The rectangle box is used for the processing. It is known as the processing box. It is used for arithmetic and data manipulation operations. Again, the instructions are written inside in the symbol. And a diamond box is there. It is a decision box. It is used for any logic or comparison related operations. When we have any comparison is to be made, and based on the output of the comparison, there are two decisions. Either the comparison is true or the comparison is false. So in that case, we will use this diamond shape. Unlike the input, output, and processing symbols, which have one entry and one exit flow line, the diamond symbol has one entry and two exit points. That path chosen depends on whether the decision or the condition is true or false. Now we are going to read some features of the flowchart. So as we know that the flowchart is easy to understand as compared to the algorithm, and we can show every step with the help of using diagrammatic. So diagrammatic representation is very helpful. Then, so while creating flowcharts, we have to keep some following rules in our mind. Well, while creating the flowchart, we will use a single flow line that comes out from a process box. every single flow line that comes out of the process box. The flow direction of a process should always be indicated either from left to right or top to bottom. Whenever we using a decision box, only one flow line can enter in the box and at least two flow lines can come out from that decision box. When we are using the start and stop operation, means that oval shape, only one flow line comes out from the start and enters into the stop. So no flow line will enter into the start symbol and no flow line comes out from the stop symbol. Every flowchart contains a logical start as well as end. Like an algorithm, every algorithm has a start and an end point. So also for the flowchart, every flowchart contains a logical start and end option. Now there are many advantages of the flowchart while solving a problem. Well, it is an excellent and effective way of communicating the logic of a program graphically. We can easily communicate since it's a diagrammatic representation. So it is easy to understand as compared to the pseudocode. It is very easy and efficient way to analyze a problem. Now during the program development phase, a flowchart acts as a guide or a blueprint which makes the program development process easier. Using the flowchart, we can easily design the problem. We can easily design the program by seeing the flowchart, by seeing the graphical representation. It makes the problem development easier. And it is one of the good way of documenting the program. Now, apart from the disadvantage of this flowchart, there exist some disadvantages also. Well, drawing a flowchart is a very time consuming task because if the problem size is larger, if the problem size becomes larger, then we have to draw the flowchart for a bigger problem. Then it's a very time consuming task because we have to write different types, shapes, different boxes each and every time. So it's a very time consuming task. Next one is that when the problem logic becomes larger, so the flowchart become more and more complex. And if any modification we have to do inside in the logic or in the flowchart, in that case we have to redraw the flowchart again. So to alter the logic, the programmer must have to redraw the flowchart. Sometimes it is difficult to understand the logic of the process of a complex flowchart, and it's just a visual graphical representation of a program, but we have to keep in mind that it cannot serve as an actual program. It's just a graphical representation, not the actual program. These are some disadvantage of flowcharts. Now we are going to just draw some flowcharts. So this is our first one. We are going to draw a flowchart to add two numbers. So this is our flowchart. Obviously, it will the flowchart must have a start point and an end point. So it will start from an oval shape, and inside in the oval shape we are going to write this line or this word start. Now the arrow line, it indicates the flow of the logic inside in the flowchart. So after start there is a parallelogram because we have to accept two numbers user. So input number 1, number 2. Then after accepting two number, we are going to add these two numbers. So for that reason, it's a processing operation. So for processing operation, we are going to use this rectangular box, rectangular shape. Sum equals to number 1 plus number 2. So these two numbers are getting added and the result is stored in a variable named sum. And again, since we are dealing with input output operation, each and when we are dealing with input output operation, we are going to use a parallelogram. When we are dealing with any processing operation, we use the rectangular box. So after obtaining the sum, Our next target is to just or display the result. So that's why we have used here a parallelogram that are going to display the sum, and our work is done. So the last step will be end. Again the oval shape, it is top or end. Our next example, we are going to draw a flowchart here to print the area of a square. So it started with an oval shape start. To find the area of a square, we have to take the input length. We have to take the length of one side from the user as input. So we have taken the length as input length, and then how we can calculate the area? It is the side square. The formula is side square. So we have to multiply the length of one side with itself. Then we will get the area of the square, and we have calculated in the next step and stored in the variable named area. The result will be stored in the variable named area. In the next step, we are going to print the variable. So again, it shows the logic, the flow lines, in which way the logic should have to be executed. First start, then input the length, then calculate the area, then print the area, then stop. Our next flowchart, draw a flowchart to accept the age of a person and check whether the person is eligible to vote or not. Remember, the criteria is that if a person has a age more than 18 or equals to 18, then the person is eligible to vote. So here we have to make a decision after accepting the age. When this is a start point, there after accepting the age of the person, we have to make a choice. The choice is that whether the age of the person is greater than equals to 18 or not. Well, so one flow line entering into the decision box and two flow line that from the decision box. One for the yes part, y means the yes part. Yes, the age of the person is greater than or equals to 18. Then definitely it will display the person is eligible for voting. Otherwise, if the condition remains false, if the condition is wrong, the age of the person is not greater than or equals to 18, then it will display that the person is not eligible to vote. So it will go directly to the no part, which is denoted by N. It will go to the no part, and it will display the message you are not eligible to vote. And based on the decision, any one part will get executed, either the yes part and it will stop the flowchart, or the no part. After displaying the message, it will stop the flowchart. So again, one starting point and one termination point is there. Inside in the flowchart, it create a branch, but one ending point will be there. Our next example, draw a flowchart to calculate the simple interest. Here we know we have to accept the principal amount, the rate of interest, and the time from the user, and with the help of the formula P multiplied by R multiplied by T divided by 100, we are going to calculate the simple interest. So this is our flowchart. We have accepted P, R and N. P is the principal amount, R is the rate of interest, and N is the number of years, the time period that we have accepted from the user. And we have calculated in the processing box, we have calculated the interest, which is P multiplied by R multiplied by N divided by 100, and we have displayed in the parallelogram. Next one, we have displayed the interest. So after displaying it, our next target is to just stop the flowchart. So this is the end point. Fix that every flowchart must have a beginning point and also must have an end point and the arrow line. We will follow this arrow line to learn the logic of the problem, in which way the problem will be solved. So this is all about the flowchart. If you like the video, then hit the like button, and those who haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell icon for regular updates. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.